Hi, everybody. This is D-Boy, West Coast Uncensored. Sorry about that. Just kind of got mixed up in my equipment. Not happy about that. But anyway, so what we were at was we were talking about the women's division. The women's division is definitely a work in progress. It's not great. It's something they need to work on. I do like some people. I like Chris Statlander. I think Rio's better. Some people really are negative on her. I watch her in the ring. She's great in the ring. My problem with some of the other, they're so green that you could tell they're not. Their experience is not there in the ring. Rio has no problem. She's a 21-year-old, 22-year-old veteran because she's been going since she's 9. My only thing with Riho would be that I don't think she's there enough. You're the champion, you need to be there more. That would be my question. Whether if you need to be there more because you're the champion, you need to be there more. Other ones I definitely like Sheeta. I think Sheeta or Statlander would be great world champion. I think maybe Sheeta is the way to go. Sheeta's a veteran, really great. I love Sheeta. I do think that this match was good. I think that Nyla is coming a long way. Um, I think that Swole is coming a long way. I think Swole's good too. It's just we're going to have to be patient with them. They do need to get that work and that continuity with them and that ring work. These are young women. They did not, a lot of the great women are in the WWE, and there's a lot of great ones on Impact. So this is definitely a work in progress. I want, they just need to really hone in on what their goals are for these women and how they're going to do them and put them there. Another one that I don't see enough of, and I know she went through some things, is Sadie Gibbs. But anyway, Swole, it was good. I'm not going to say it was bad. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest, but it was good. I believe 8 minutes 30 seconds. Nyla Rose, who's definitely it was a table match, and Nyla Rose put Swole, but Swole had definitely had an arson that she got on there and showed her offense, and it was good. She's got some ability and stuff. She's strong, good athlete. Both of them are. Just the experience and pushing them. You will get better when you wrestle with people are better. And I think they're at the point now with their women is they need more in-time work. One show a week's not getting it. They do need to probably add another show and get these women somewhere where they can definitely bring their volume of what they're doing on TV to a higher quality. So, but I thought they were okay. I mean, I really did. I thought they were okay. Um, Not the best, but definitely it's not. Some people really just dog on it. I'm not gonna just dog on it as that. I'll tell you if it's bad, or if it's really bad, I'm gonna tell you. If not, I'm going to tell you it was okay. It was just okay. I mean, I've seen stuff I liked out of both of them, especially Swole. There was some stuff I really like in her offensive arsenal, and that she brought. Then there's some things that just a little off sync that you could tell that they never probably worked too much. These women haven't worked together. You build continuity by, in the old days when you would wrestle in the territories, you would wrestle for each other 4 or 5 times a week. Well, guess what happens after you wrestle each other 4 or 5 times a week for 2 months? You build continuity. These girls aren't doing that. So the continuity aspect of them only can happen in doing it in the ring and getting better. As the more you wrestle, the more you'll do it, especially if you're young. And we see that with some of the other women's. But I'm going to tell you, Sheeta, I like the young Chris Statlander, and definitely, as much as people want to put her down, Real's good in the ring. Her ring stuff is really good, and I know a lot of people are negative, even though she gets a pop, but a lot of people in the wrestling community just don't like her, but she's good in the ring. My biggest problem with Real, you got to be there. You're the champion. You got to represent the champion. Be there more. The next match was Kip Sabian versus Cody. I really like this because there's just a huge story in this. And the huge story is there's just like layers of stuff that you could see with Arn Anderson getting coaching, managing Cody, him kind of getting booted and kicked out because he bumped the ref. I think this is another woman too. I'm going to put her, even though she's kind of like the valet manager valet with Kip Sabian, her boyfriend. I think she could be a star. I think there's some women there that you really want to push, and I think Penelope Ford's one of them. I think she's got some incredible athletic ability. She definitely is one of those high flyers that can do things. She actually always gets involved physically in the matches and shows some of her stuff. Definitely beautiful. So definitely, I think Penelope Ford. This had many, many layers that Penelope got involved and then hoodwinked Cody. And Cody picked her up, and then the reality was that she was faking that Cody went back to hit her and then hit Penelope, and then he thought he knocked Penelope out, but she faked it, and then Cody went to move her and picked her up, and then, they got involved and just hornswaggled him. I mean, just gave Cody the okey doke, and then just a really good match, just layers and stuff. And then you could see the back and forth, and then Arn getting kicked out for bumping the ref when he got upset when Arn was told to stay in after Penelope over and over interfered, like the heel that they are. Penelope and Kip are heels. Cody's maybe the biggest baby face, if not in wrestling, and definitely AEW. And then, so what happened is just a lot of layers. It's kind of what you love about professional wrestling. It's also entertainment. It's also a lot of other stuff. It's just not the match. But as the match went through and got to points, both got their stuff in. It had layers of stuff with the referee. It had layers of stuff with Arn Anderson, with Penelope Ford. And even some people, I loved it, was the fact that Penelope and Kip always do their kissing scenes. Well, they went outside after they went up to Cody, went outside the ring to kiss each other. And then Joey Janela was sitting down and popped in between them, and they both kissed. Joey Janela had their eyes closed, didn't see it was Joey, and then kissed Joey. And then finally they realized they kissed Joey, and he kind of flipped them both off and left. I thought that was funny. I thought it was a really good spot to put Joey in. I know some people might think, well, why would you put it in a Cody match? It's okay. It was okay. It was good. Really good match. Finally, Cody was able to do his handspring cutter, and then hit not just one, not just two, but he hit three. He hit three crossroads and was able to get the win. And with three crossroads, to me, what that tells me is crossroads is a good move. I remember weeks ago, it was even mentioned. Cody says that the finishing maneuver was botched on 2 national TV shows because other people tried to do it, which is true. Cody did not just one of them, he did 3 of them. So he definitely, his move is perfected within himself, that he's perfected his own crossroads. So it was a good match. Lot of moving parts with this, with the outside interference. And I'm telling you, but Penelope Ford, she's one they got to hone in as being a star, and maybe moving her back to wrestling for the women, because I definitely think she's got another, like I said, Penelope Ford to me is super talented and super over. I mean, I definitely push Penelope Ford, maybe getting back in the scored circle with the women and doing that. But this is working to get her over with valeting with Kip, which is her real life boyfriend. And the feud is Joey was her boyfriend. And they're taking this real-life situation and making it a feud within the wrestling, because it was a real-life situation. Joey and Penelope were together, and they have broken up, and she's now been with Kip for a while, since AEW started. And now they're running this in the storyline, and this has always worked in professional wrestling, when you take real-life situations, run it in the storyline, and both kind of patents can work with it and not allow the personal matters of the past to get away with them. And it appears they did, because they both, Kip and Penelope both kissed Joey on the cheek. So kudos. I thought it was a really good match. This is what wrestling to me is kind of about. Moving on, let me kind of get a look. Was the very next thing was the Brit Baker promo. And whether you like it or not, and I know the negativity of the women's, the negativity of Brit Baker, looking green as green can be at times, especially in the ring. And then last week, before the cruise, her promo that she tried to cut on Tony Schiavone, just didn't look comfortable doing it a couple weeks ago. But this is a 180. Bret killed it. And if you're going to tell somebody they're not good, when they do good, don't be halfway crook. Tell the truth. She killed this. She was on point with the thing. She added JR and got heat on JR and Tony, but this time she reflected everything to JR and his where he's at, being a legend And then she got on JR about being a legend, but not knowing the roster's name and saying the wrong name, so she got on him and being a barbecue sauce salesman. She killed this promo. So she has definitely gone heel. She's heel, which is the best thing for her. It doesn't fix everything because that's got to translate also in the ring, because we see her in the ring. She was the first shiny, and a lot of people thought she was going to be the golden child of the women's division, and AEW was going to push her, and she was going to get the world title, and if deserving so, yeah. But we know in-ring work and what she does and what she was doing, it wasn't working. She's not ready to handle the title of this company. I see a few ahead of her right now. But this is a good start because this promo was good. As bad as the other one was a few weeks ago with Tony, this was 180, and as bad as that one was, it's as good as this one was. And then for her to drop the Cleveland bomb with, if there was a real Baker you can trust, it was her. This was in Cleveland, and as you know, Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. That's golden. That's good. That's a good promo in Cleveland, and saying she is the Baker you can trust. So Brit Baker, hats off. That was a good promo. This one was super. Really good job by her, and she definitely is going heel. And I believe she needs to go heel. You got to do what works for you as an athlete, and get over. The women's division has some greenery, and there's nothing wrong. It gives you a lot of volume of growth, but it may not be up to par what's needed to be at the best, what's needed for the product now, especially being on TV. But Britt nailed this and knocked it out of the park, grand slam. 2 weeks ago, strikeout. This one's hitting the left field pavilion deep. So as we go from them, and then killing it with the Baker you can trust, and that definitely ain't Baker Mayfield. He's talking about herself, Brit Baker. So definitely I give her the kudos for that one. The next segment was, as we go back into we go into an interview. We go into the Bucks and Omega backstage, and Paige walking in on him. And then Kenny Omega says, man, just signed. He's really pushing the fact that just signed next week the Butcher and the Blade in an 8-man tag against the Bucks and Omega and Paige. And then the Butcher and the Blade have two more tag team of their choice to pick. So that came out. So Kenny announced that to them and let them know that. And then Hangman Page comes in and doesn't disagree with having it, but he shows the title, and then he gives them the nameplates for the Young Bucks and tells them, isn't surprised that we'd be using these nameplates on my belt. Our nameplates are in there before you, or here you go. If you ever get a chance at the title, here's your nameplates. So definitely throwing some shade at the Bucks is Adam Page on this interview. So next week we're having a little bit of another lead. We're having an 8-man tag, the Butcher and the Blade, and a tag team to be named later, which I'll mention a little bit later because we already know who it is now. But against the Bucks, or against the Elite, and Adam Page really isn't Elite anymore, is he? Doesn't appear to be. They got to do with this in the flag because I think he's over now. So definitely. He's over now. So the very next segment is, as we go over here, is we're going to go into the interview, SCU and the Hybrid 2. This match was really kind of hard to get into and follow. I like both teams. I think that SCU, after losing the title, they did get him this win. They did win the match. Something lacked in it not really being over and being prepped, because and there's nothing wrong with the Hybrid 2. I really like Jack Evans. I like Angelico too, but I really like Jack Evans, but it just didn't really catch. And I think this was kind of leading into, I think they need to do something with the Hybrid 2. They're too good not just to be throwing in matches and just losing and losing. You got to have something for them because they're very good and talented and a good tag team. The thing I would do with them would be possibly getting them involved in the getting them involved in this again, and getting them to the point where getting them back in maybe a tag team title run in a good feud. But I think this was over because the next segment was going to be was definitely the Dark Order coming on the screen, and they're saying they're not happy with Christopher Daniels, and because they're not happy with Christopher Daniels, their chosen one has said that they need to take vengeance on all SCU's family and friends and the tag team of SCU. So the Dark Order says, since this has happened, this is just giving you fair warning. This is happening to you, Christopher Daniels. So something's going out. So here's my little thought. There was all kinds of rumors that Marty Scurll was going to be the leader. Of course, Marty's re-upped with Ring of Honor. We don't know how that's going to work, if there's going to be a working relationship, that Marty will be there, but he's definitely been given the job of booker and has power in the Ring of Honor, right? I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I do know this one thing: if Marty will definitely, if they're trying to work some working agreement, as Marty's trying to maybe propagate a working agreement between RH and AEW and New Japan and AEW and kind of bring them together. That could happen. But I'm wondering if maybe Christopher Daniels isn't the chosen one. Just a thought. There's a lot of rumors on. At first, we heard that it was going to be Marty. We've heard that it's going to be somebody that's coming soon. Two people that it could also be is Matt Hardy and also Brody Lee. Could also be that. So those are just kind of things to think about. But I'm looking at Christopher Daniels, who for years was the fallen angel. It makes sense. He's kind of hanging there. He's part of SCU, but he wasn't part of the tag team title. He kind of lost his confidence. Could this be? Just kind of watch and see that. I'm wondering if it could be Christopher Daniels is that chosen one to lead the Dark Order. So just something to kind of think about and look at. And if it is, it's just something that we'll have to look at it and see. So that's kind of what happened. They threatened that he will take out Christopher Daniels' family, SCU, family, friends, and everybody, that it's on the table that the chosen one has said that, and the Dark Order has, sense of what has happened with him turning him down, that the Dark Order is not playing games. This is a role, and this is your warning. We're coming after you. So we'll see where that goes. They've had some great segments with the vignettes with the Dark Order. Kind of maybe too late in the fact that the Dark Order was never, what would you say? The Dark Order was never, probably needed the vignettes first to get them over before you got them over. Kind of did it backwards. But these vignettes at AEW, they cut some really good video packages with the vignettes they've been cutting on their show. Just really good, professional. You can tell, just not back alley. Get your phone and do it. These vignettes are very good, and not too studio arranged, like too movie studio, but really done really solidly. Really good stuff. Shout out to their vignettes are good. Their vignettes have been good for the Dark Order. And then we go to the next thing they have. We have a little vignette for Pac. Pac comes out on a vignette. It was really nice. It was black and white. It looked really eerie. It was dark, and there was this wall, and then Pac was kind of jumping from one scene to another. This one was done excellent too. And Pac says, okay, he's not playing games. Next week, he will show you what it's about. He wants Kenny, and he wants his rubber match. And he said nobody's paying him any mind. He's done with the fact with Moxley and that. Let Moxley have his day with whatever the Inner Circle does, but he wants his rubber match with Kenny. And since Kenny does not want to hear him and put him on the back burner, he will be taking his vengeance, and it will start next week. And he says his vengeance also will be blood. So we're going to see what he's going to do with Kenny and that whole situation with Kenny Omega. And this is a very good vignette too. Professional. This is stuff AEW's did really good with the Road 2 by the Nightmare Family, and their vignettes is definitely off the charts in AEW. I have to give them really proper mundo for the stuff they've been doing with these vignettes and stuff like that. Powerful. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. The next thing was when we went through the vignette, we had the with Pac, we had the match between the six-man tag, the main event, and it was a Jericho and the Inner Circle with Santana Ortiz. And if you notice, for a few weeks, you before the cruise, you didn't see Santana Ortiz. This is why you didn't see him. Santana's dad passed away, so he was out. Given time off his dad passed away. I did see it on social media. He was sharing about his dad. And so, yeah, that's why there was a number of weeks. There was like a 3-week period. You were like, where's Santana and Ortiz at in the inner circle? Santana's dad passed away. So this is so they were tagging again with Jericho and Cleveland. And they're tagging next week with them too. So what happened was in this match, very good match. You know, it was against Private Party, another young green tag team, but it's getting better. You can see the advancement of Private Party and their athletic ability. This is a really good young team. And Darby Allin's over like nobody's business. Darby Allin name is being chanted. Love everything you do. Darby is very, very over in AEW. Darby and them. So this was a match. There's some hot tags. Both teams were getting their stuff in. At the end of the match, going back and forth, some near pins by Darby and also by Private Party. Very good match. Both teams, like I said, getting their stuff in. But at the end, Cassidy was caught by the flying or the spinning back elbow by Jericho, the Judas effect, taking him out and them getting the win. And then they all left together, and then they looked at each other and went back in, and then proceeded to beat down Private Party and Darby Allin. The Inner Circle did. Sammy Guevara took this. They whipped him. They definitely whipped Darby with the belt, and when they whipped Darby with the belt, then they took the skateboard, and Sammy Guevara took this and asked Chris Jericho and told Chris Jericho. Then they hugged, the father and son reunion, hugged, and then Sammy Guevara took that skateboard and put it like down, and then did this like they took it to his throat and jammed that skateboard in the throat of Darby Allin. He sold it real well. I think we're definitely setting up seeing the Guevara. I could see it Revolution Guevara and Darby Allin definitely a heel baby face match. Because Guevara did go off on him. They proceeded to beat down them, but they put the beating more on Darby. Jon Moxley comes out, makes a save, brings in the Sting Bat, the Black Bat, cleans house, runs him off. Very, very, very good match. This is a very good Dynamite. It wasn't the ones that all struck you that you're just like, oh, this is just great. You're not going to get that every week, but it wasn't bad. It was good. It still pushed ahead storylines, which I'm glad they're doing, because you know what? We don't have it in the other shows. The storylines definitely not on the two major shows. But AEW stuck to their guns. They do keep storylines, and I think a lot of times that people get mad and want things immediately with this, especially since everything's done so fast, and it's been happening so fast, and then storylines not fall through on the other show for years. They'll start something, then you wonder where it went because it never fall through because they didn't keep storylines before. So what happened was that they have kept their storylines, and like the old days, storylines were not meant to be redone in 2 weeks. Storylines can carry on for 6-7 months. And that's what they're doing. That's old wrestling, how it was done in the day. And that's how the foundation of it is to keep your storylines long. You're supposed to have this booked out 6, 7, 8 months, sometimes a year ahead. You don't cut a storyline on the fly weekly. And they definitely haven't. Their storylines have been really good. Their storylines have definitely looked, they've kept it going. So they, everything that happened tonight kept the storylines going. That's what I'm trying to say. So it was a good Dynamite. It could be really good. I don't consider it great or Dynamite or elite. Doing weekly TV, you're not going to have that. The last 2 Dynamites before this week were really, really, really good. If not Dynamite and if not elite. But this one was still good, and it did one thing. It advanced storylines to Revolution. Because that's where we're going. The next big thing is the end of this month now that we're in February is Revolution. That's going to be the payoff for a lot of these storylines is going to be Revolution. So Moxley came and cleaned house. He came and cleaned house. Next week, They'll be in the Von Braun Center, and the big thing there is going to be that 8-man tag. Remember I said there was an 8-man tag, Omega and Page, the World Tag Team Championships, along with the Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade again. But now also they're going to add in, here's the other tag team. It's Lucha Brothers and Butcher and Blade versus the Young Bucks and Omega and Omega and Page. And next week is 10 Lashes for Cody Rhodes from MJF, one of MJF's stipulations. So we're seeing the stipulations come into order now. That next week we get it is the 10 Lashes next Wednesday. In Dynamite is going to be the 10 Lashes. So that will be interesting to see the 10 Lashes. How is this going to work out? So now we know we got the 10 Lashes. We got the tag team. I don't know of any other matches mentioned at this time. But anyways, that's what's next for Dynamite. So it was very good Dynamite. It got over the storylines. Not the greatest. It didn't make you leaving going, wow. But in the professional wrestling aspect of it, it kept storylines advancing to weekly and to Revolution, which is how wrestling works, is storylines carry over. In the day of microwaving everything, storylines are not supposed to tell me the whole story next week. And that's what we see a lot of on people on social media, because especially if you're kind of new and you're only the first generation, you really weren't watching wrestling past 2001, or if you're just 2010, there's a lot that how this used to be that is not the way it was. And AEW is kind of bringing that back. There's a mixture of old school and new school, character building on your own. What do you want to be? You create it. You learn to run with it. But anyways, it's very good Dynamite. My first review on Dynamite. I'll get better at it. I've watched a lot of reviews, and I definitely have always was wondering when I was going to start it, but I did. This is the review for the end of the month, the 29th of January. Next review, I believe, is the 5th of February, which will be 10 Lashes tag team leading us to Revolution. You guys have a great day. D-Boy from WestCoastUncensored.com. Hit my website. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm looking for people who would want to put their business, you business ventures, you entrepreneurs, or people that have their business, want to put it on my website. It'd be $10 a month, and we will definitely run it on my website. You guys have a great day from West Coast Uncensored. D-Boy. See ya.